In this video, we're going to look at growing your social following. In this age of technology, relationships are king. The more channels we can connect with someone, the greater the potential for a relationship. By intentionally asking people to follow us, we can systematically build more communication channels to the database. In this video, we're going to take a look at creating a functional tag goal, writing a social invite email, and then triggering that email from other campaigns. For the purpose of this video, let's pretend we want to invite people to follow us on Twitter. So we're assuming that we have a Twitter profile already created. We're going to start by dragging out a tag goal. A sequence. And then a link click goal. So in plain English, what's going to happen is something's going to cause this tag goal to fire. It's going to invite people to follow on Twitter, and we're going to track if they're clicking through to the profile. So before we get into setting this up, we're also going to want to set up a campaign link for our profile here. And we're going to use this link in that invite email. This is going to help us out with scaling. So this tag needs to be a functional tag. So we have a functional invite to follow on Twitter. And that's what's going to cause this campaign to go. Inside the sequence, we're going to have an email that invites them. And then, optionally, you can remove that functional tag if you want. If you want this process to repeat, then you'll want to remove that tag. If you only want to invite people to Twitter or whatever once, then you would want to leave that tag on them so the tag goal cannot refire again. So the email itself is very casual and conversational. Because the objective is to get someone to click through to Twitter. Specifically in this case, Twitter. Again, this could be Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever social channel you want to have people follow you on. So nice and casual. Hey, contact first name. Not sure if you use Twitter, but I do, and I'd love to connect with you there too. Especially since I tend to post updates more often than I send emails. So then we have our call to action, which we'll link in a second using that campaign link. And we just want to give them a little heads out. If you don't use Twitter, that's totally fine. No big deal. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and link this to the campaign link for Twitter. And at this point, we can mark the email as ready to go. And we can also mark the sequence as ready to go. The last step is configuring this link click goal. So we're going to double click into it. And we can say if they click on this link, we know that they're clicking to follow us on Twitter. And we're good to go. At this point, we can go ahead and publish the campaign, and then in some other campaign, we would want to apply this functional tag at the appropriate point in the automation. Because when that tag is applied to a contact record, remember, this email is going to go out driving them to our social profile. And from there, the hopes they will add our profile. And this link click goal allows us to track the engagement. Now, not everyone is going to follow you right away. Feel free to add in reminder emails to the mix, but not too often to avoid list burnout. Doing another reminder in 1 month and then 3 months later is pretty harmless. Make sure those reminders are configured in the link click goal as well, so the series stops when they click to view our social profile. And we're leveraging a campaign link here because it'll ensure that updating the social URL is easily, especially if this link is being used in multiple places over multiple emails. This also ensures that you can copy the campaign and the structure easily to use with other social channels. So you can have the structure built out for Facebook, for Twitter, for LinkedIn. All the channels you use, you can build one of these. There's another idea that you can use here, which is setting up 2 versions of this recipe, or this video. You can have one invite version for people that are leads, and then another version that are for paying customers. And this allows you to adjust the messaging here. And then in this decision node, you're probably going to control it with some kind of tags, if they have a customer tag or not. If you want, feel free to add in a delay timer, so that way it serves the email during normal business hours. And this will create a more personal experience, because remember, this tag can be applied anywhere. So we may want to include that delay here. You also want to make sure that you use the proper lingo in the specific channel. This is call to action. So you would say, like us on Facebook, not follow us on Facebook. Another thing you can do is you can build an I don't use Twitter as a link click goal, and then put a PS in the email. This gives them an out. So it can just be a simple message in the PS, hey, if you don't use Twitter, click here, and then if you want, you can even tag those people. This creates an anti-list, and we can use this strategically in other places across our business. Remember to keep these emails short, because we're just driving them to your social profile quickly. We're not trying to keep them in their inbox. Now, although you can tag everybody that clicks through to the social profile, we don't have to, because the campaign goal completion report can show us all people that have clicked. There's only 2 times we would need a tag. First, if the click will trigger some other sequence without stopping the current one. Then we can have that tag fire a goal. Tagging on a link click is also how we can segment a campaign based on engagement, and then we can configure a decision node to check for certain tags and then respond accordingly. Now, if you don't want to do this automatically, you can adjust this model to use a note template instead. And then this way, we can manually trigger this as needed. Now, if you're going to use a note template, you may want to adjust the email so that way it comes directly from the sales representative and say something like, hey, you mentioned earlier that you were using Twitter. Want to let you know we're on there as well. That kind of stuff. Now, if you really want to get crazy with it, you can actually have a task to check and verify the follow after this link click goal. Once I click to the profile, you can go ahead and create a sequence that just has a task to check for the follow. And then give them being the user, an internal form to indicate what actually happened, if they followed or not. So the task is going to say, go ahead and fill out this form. And this form can literally just be a radio button that says, were you able to find them following you or no? And then we can also catch people that didn't follow. And we can't be creepy about it. We can say something like, hey, I saw that you're checking it out, couldn't find your follow, you know, any questions, something like that. And then again, on this form we can put again, just a simple radio button that says found the follow or didn't, and then that'll control the decision node logic. This will allow us to further segment based on their activity. For a template that can be used as a starting point in this model, download the Grow Your Social Following from the Infusionsoft Marketplace. In the next video, we're going to look at creating a PPC lead generation funnel.